everybody, welcome to my channel.
Gary Cooper was an iconic American film actor whose understated style and quiet strength made him one of Hollywood's most enduring and beloved stars. Born Frank James Cooper on May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, he grew up on his family's ranch, where he developed the rugged, all-American image that would later define his screen persona. His early life in the open country instilled in him a calm demeanor and authenticity that set him apart from many of his contemporaries. Cooper moved to Los Angeles in the 1920s, initially working as a stunt rider and extra in westerns before earning his first significant role in The Winning of Barbara Worth, 1926. His tall, lean frame and natural ease before the camera quickly caught Hollywood's attention, leading to a series of starring roles in the early sound era. Unlike many silent film actors who struggled to adapt to talking pictures, Cooper's deep, deliberate voice enhanced his appeal. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, Gary Cooper became a symbol of integrity, decency, and quiet heroism. He starred in numerous classics, including A Farewell to Arms, 1932, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, and Meet John Doe, 1941. His most celebrated performance came in High Noon, 1952, where his portrayal of Marshall Will Kane, standing alone against lawlessness, earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. He had previously won the Oscar for Sergeant York, 1941, playing the humble World War I hero Alvin York. Cooper's acting style was marked by restraint and naturalism. He often played men of principle, simple, honest individuals facing moral challenges. This unforced realism and sincerity made audiences trust him. He seemed to embody the very best of the American spirit. Ernest Hemingway, who was both a friend and admirer, once described Cooper as the man who always does the right thing. In his personal life, Cooper was known for his modesty, charm, and love of the outdoors. He married socialite Veronica Rocky Balfe in 1933, and they had one daughter, Maria. Although he had several high-profile romantic entanglements, he remained devoted to his family and avoided the excesses of Hollywood celebrity culture. By the 1950s, Cooper's health began to decline. Yet he continued to act with dignity and depth. His later films, such as Friendly Persuasion, 1956, revealed a more mature emotional range. He received a special honorary Academy Award in 1961 for his lifetime achievements, accepted on his behalf by his close friend James Stewart, as Cooper was too ill to attend. Gary Cooper passed away on May 13, 1961, at the age of 60, from cancer. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. Cooper remains one of the quintessential figures of American cinema, an actor whose natural grace, quiet strength, and moral clarity made him not just a movie star, but a cultural icon representing the best qualities of American character and heroism. Gary Cooper's influence on cinema extended far beyond his own generation. He defined a screen archetype, the stoic, principled man of few words, that deeply shaped American film heroes for decades to come. His quiet intensity and moral integrity set a new standard for masculinity in Hollywood. Actors such as Clint Eastwood, Gregory Peck, Henry Fonda, and even later performers like Kevin Costner and Tom Hanks have acknowledged Cooper's influence on their approach to acting and character portrayal. Cooper's career spanned from the silent era through Hollywood's golden age, encompassing more than 80 films across various genres: westerns, war dramas, romances, and comedies. Yet regardless of the setting, he remained consistent in embodying honesty and emotional truth. His greatest gift was his ability to communicate volumes through silence. A glance, a pause, or a slow smile often carried more weight than dialogue. Director Billy Wilder once remarked that Cooper underacted to the point of sublimity. Some of his most enduring films include Morocco, 1930, opposite Marlene Dietrich, a sultry romantic drama that solidified his status as a leading man. A Farewell to Arms, 1932, based on Ernest Hemingway's novel, where Cooper portrayed a sensitive and tragic lover amid war. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, a Frank Capra classic that cast Cooper as the idealistic small-town man who brings decency to a corrupt city. Beau Geste, 1939, a stirring adventure in the French Foreign Legion. The Westerner, 1940, and The Plainsman, 1936, roles that reinforced his standing as the ultimate Western hero. Sergeant York, 1941, his Oscar-winning portrayal of a real-life World War I hero, a film that resonated deeply with audiences during wartime. For Whom the Bell Tolls, 1943, another Hemingway adaptation, showcasing his depth as an actor in a passionate and tragic love story. High Noon, 1952, his most iconic role, a masterclass in moral courage and loneliness, considered one of the greatest westerns ever made. Beyond his film work, Cooper was also a deeply respected figure in Hollywood's social circles. He was known for his decency, humility, and old-fashioned manners. Despite his fame, he remained approachable and reserved, preferring fishing trips, horseback riding, and quiet family life to the glitz of the industry. Friends often described him as an authentic American gentleman, a man whose off-screen character mirrored the upright heroes he portrayed. Politically, Cooper leaned conservative and testified before the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1947. Though he maintained a moderate stance and avoided the extremes that divided many in Hollywood during that era, his focus remained on his craft, his family, and his faith. He converted to Catholicism late in life, finding comfort in spirituality as his health declined. When Gary Cooper died in 1961, the world mourned not just an actor but a symbol of integrity. President John F. Kennedy, one of Cooper's admirers, said that America had lost a great artist and a great citizen. His star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and his placement on numerous greatest actors lists are testaments to his enduring impact. Today, Gary Cooper's performances continue to resonate because they capture something timeless: the power of decency, courage, and quiet strength. His legacy is that of the everyman hero, unassuming yet noble, reserved yet resolute, a man who proved that true greatness often speaks softly. Gary Cooper's acting style revolutionized Hollywood's perception of screen performance by introducing a subtle, naturalistic approach that contrasted sharply with the theatrical mannerisms common in early cinema. He wasn't an actor who relied on grand gestures or expressive dialogue. Instead, he communicated with stillness, quiet conviction, and authenticity. His minimalism gave audiences space to project emotion onto his characters, creating an intimate connection that felt deeply human. Acting style and technique. Cooper's genius lay in his ability to do less but mean more. His movements were deliberate, his pauses purposeful. He used silence as a tool, letting tension or emotion build naturally instead of forcing it. Directors and co-stars often remark that Cooper didn't act, he was. This apparent simplicity was, in fact, a carefully honed skill that took great control and intuition. He often relied on his physicality, his tall frame, measured gait, and calm posture, to communicate character. His eyes, gentle yet firm, carried both vulnerability and resolve. In High Noon, for instance, Cooper's face conveys moral anguish and courage without excessive dialogue. His slow, solitary walk down the empty street became one of cinema's most powerful images of personal bravery. He had a rare ability to blend strength with sensitivity. His heroes were not flawless supermen but ordinary men confronted by extraordinary circumstances: farmers, soldiers, sheriffs, and dreamers. This made him relatable to everyday Americans during times of social upheaval, depression, and war. His performances reassured audiences that quiet integrity could still triumph over cynicism and corruption. Influence on later generations: Cooper's understated realism influenced an entire generation of actors and directors who sought greater truth in performance. Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift, and James Dean, leaders of the post-war method acting movement, admired his naturalism, even though Cooper's approach was instinctive rather than method-trained. Clint Eastwood and Kevin Costner later modeled their Western heroes on Cooper's stoic moral archetype. Film scholars often cite Cooper as a bridge between the old Hollywood romanticism and the modern psychological realism that emerged in the 1950s. He proved that sincerity and emotional restraint could be as powerful as melodrama. Relationships and personal life: while Cooper's on-screen image was virtuous and noble, his personal life was more complex. He was charming and quietly charismatic, often admired by his female co-stars. He had affairs with actresses such as Clara Bow, Lupe Velez, Marlene Dietrich, and Patricia Neal. His relationship with Neal, in particular, was serious and emotionally intense, lasting several years despite his marriage. His wife, Veronica "Rocky" Balfe, a socialite and former actress, stood by him through personal challenges. They had one daughter, Maria Cooper, who later became an artist and wrote affectionately about her father's kindness, humility, and introspection. Cooper was a close friend to many Hollywood legends, including Ernest Hemingway, Clark Gable, and James Stewart. Stewart's tearful speech at the 1961 Oscars, accepting Cooper's honorary award, remains one of the most emotional moments in Academy history. Legacy and cultural impact: Gary Cooper's image endures as the embodiment of the American ideal, a man of integrity who stands for what is right even when it is difficult. His characters shaped the nation's self-image during the 20th century: honest, self-reliant, and courageous in the face of adversity. He left behind a cinematic legacy that continues to inspire filmmakers and audiences alike. Directors such as John Ford, Fred Zinnemann, and William Wyler admired his discipline and his ability to carry a film's emotional core without overt drama. His star persona was so iconic that it transcended the screen. He became shorthand for decency, courage, and authenticity. In 1999, the American Film Institute, AFI, ranked Gary Cooper as the 11th greatest male screen legend of all time. His influence can still be felt in contemporary cinema, where his blend of strength and humility remains a gold standard for heroic storytelling. Conclusion: Gary Cooper's life and career were a reflection of timeless virtues: honesty, quiet strength, and emotional truth. He represented not just the American hero, but the universal human struggle to live with courage and dignity. Whether facing an outlaw in High Noon or confronting moral choices in Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Cooper's performances transcend time, reminding audiences that real heroism doesn't shout. It stands tall and steady. Detailed filmography and analysis of key roles: Gary Cooper's career, spanning over 3 decades, represents a remarkable evolution in American film, from the raw excitement of the silent westerns to the moral complexity of post-war dramas. His filmography not only reflects his versatility but also chronicles Hollywood's transformation during its golden age. Below is a closer look at his most significant and enduring roles, performances that defined both his career and the cinematic ideals of his time. 1. The Winning of Barbara Worth, 1926. Cooper's breakthrough came in this silent western directed by Henry King. Playing a heroic cowboy who helps build an irrigation system in the desert, Cooper displayed a natural ease in front of the camera that distinguished him from other actors of the era. Though he had a supporting role, his charisma was unmistakable, prompting Paramount Pictures to offer him a contract. It was here that his screen image, rugged yet gentle, stoic yet kind, first took root. 2. Morocco, 1930. Opposite the mesmerizing Marlene Dietrich, Cooper played Tom Brown, a Foreign Legion soldier who falls for a cabaret singer. Their smoldering chemistry electrified audiences and catapulted both stars to international fame. Cooper's understated masculinity perfectly balanced Dietrich's sensual sophistication, and their romance became one of the most famous in early sound cinema. The film also showcased Cooper's effortless transition from silent films to talkies, proving that his low, deliberate voice could convey as much emotion as his expression. 3. A Farewell to Arms, 1932. Adapted from Ernest Hemingway's classic novel, Cooper portrayed Lieutenant Frederick Henry, an American ambulance driver in World War I who falls tragically in love with a British nurse, played by Helen Hayes. Cooper's quiet intensity and emotional restraint gave depth to Hemingway's anti-war themes. He captured the anguish and nobility of love amidst chaos, earning widespread critical acclaim. This performance also solidified Cooper's friendship with Hemingway, who admired his integrity both on and off screen. 4. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, directed by Frank Capra. This film marked one of Cooper's most defining roles. As Longfellow Deeds, a small-town poet who inherits a fortune and confronts New York's corruption, Cooper embodied the quintessential everyman hero. His portrayal, humble, sincere, and incorruptible, captured the idealism of Depression-era America. Audiences found comfort in his decency, and critics praised his ability to convey both innocence and intelligence. The role earned him his first Academy Award nomination. 5. Beau Geste, 1939. In this sweeping adventure film, Cooper played the noble Michael Beau Geste, a man who joins the French Foreign Legion to protect his family's honor. The film highlighted his ability to play men of moral principle in the face of adversity. His calm authority and unshakable courage further strengthened his reputation as Hollywood's symbol of integrity. 6. Sergeant York, 1941. This biographical war drama earned Cooper his first Academy Award for Best Actor. As Alvin C. York, a real-life pacifist turned World War I hero, Cooper delivered one of his most human and inspirational performances. His portrayal was deeply spiritual, capturing a man torn between faith and duty. Released months before the U.S. entered World War II, the film became a powerful patriotic symbol, and Cooper's sincerity resonated profoundly with audiences facing global conflict. 7. For Whom the Bell Tolls, 1943. Another Hemingway adaptation, this time set during the Spanish Civil War, paired Cooper with Ingrid Bergman. He played Robert Jordan, an idealistic dynamiter torn between love and revolution. Cooper's performance balanced stoicism with romantic vulnerability, showing a deeper, more introspective side of his craft. The film earned him yet another Academy Award nomination and reaffirmed his status as a leading dramatic actor. 8. The Pride of the Yankees, 1942. In this biographical film about baseball legend Lou Gehrig, Cooper gave one of his most heartfelt and poignant performances. The closing scene, where Gehrig declares himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, became one of the most moving moments in film history. Cooper, who had no baseball experience, practiced tirelessly to master Gehrig's mannerisms and left-handed swing, demonstrating his deep respect for authenticity. 9. High Noon, 1952. Perhaps Cooper's greatest and most culturally significant role, High Noon is a minimalist masterpiece. As Marshall Will Kane, a man abandoned by his town and forced to face danger alone, Cooper embodied the very essence of moral courage. The film's real-time pacing and haunting tension made it a parable of conscience and integrity, mirroring Cooper's own quiet strength. His performance, understated yet electric with inner conflict, won him his second Academy Award for Best Actor. It remains one of the most studied performances in film history. 10. Friendly Persuasion, 1956. Cooper played Jess Birdwell, a Quaker farmer struggling to reconcile his pacifist beliefs with the violence of the Civil War. The role showed a mature, reflective Cooper, gentle, wise, and emotionally rich. The film's warmth and moral complexity showcased his enduring ability to express depth through stillness. Later years and final roles in his final films, including Man of the West, 1958, and The Hanging Tree, 1959. Cooper revisited the Western genre that had made him famous but infused it with a new gravity and world-weariness. These roles reflected his advancing age and introspection, offering audiences a poignant farewell from an actor who had come to symbolize the American frontier spirit. Conclusion: Gary Cooper's filmography tells the story of a man who grew alongside the medium itself, evolving from the silent hero on horseback to the introspective moralist confronting modern dilemmas. His ability to balance humility with heroism made him a timeless figure in world cinema. To watch a Gary Cooper performance is to witness the purest form of screen acting, one where honesty, restraint, and emotional truth speak louder than words. He remains, even decades after his death, a benchmark for integrity in storytelling, a reminder that true greatness in acting, as in life, lies not in noise or bravado, but in quiet conviction. Legacy and influence on modern culture: Gary Cooper's legacy extends far beyond the silver screen. More than 6 decades after his passing, he remains one of the most enduring symbols of the American ideal, embodying integrity, courage, and quiet dignity. His influence shaped not only generations of actors and filmmakers but also the very concept of what it means to be a hero in American culture. 1. The archetype of the American hero: Cooper's screen persona created a blueprint for the quintessential American hero, a man of few words, guided by conscience rather than ego. He represented a brand of masculinity rooted in authenticity, moral clarity, and emotional restraint. Unlike the flamboyant swashbucklers or fast-talking charmers of his time, Cooper's characters found strength in silence and honesty. His portrayal of Marshall Will Kane in High Noon, 1952, distilled this archetype to perfection. Standing alone against danger, he personified individual responsibility and moral courage, qualities that resonated deeply in post-war America, amid the anxieties of the Cold War. The film became an allegory for standing up to oppression and conformity, often interpreted as a subtle critique of the McCarthy-era blacklisting that gripped Hollywood. Cooper's hero wasn't the loud or reckless type, he was deliberate, steady, and principled. This made him a model not only for later Western stars like Clint Eastwood and Gregory Peck, but also for modern actors who embrace introspection, such as Kevin Costner, Harrison Ford, Viggo Mortensen, and Tom Hanks. 2. Influence on film and acting: Gary Cooper's understated acting style helped move Hollywood away from the exaggerated theatrics of early cinema toward a more natural, realistic form of expression. He paved the way for performers who emphasized truth over technique, Actors like Marlon Brando, James Dean, and Paul
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.